Okay, so my allergies are kind of bad, so sorry about that. So I always thought I would make this type of video after I was cured from chronic pain. I'm not cured, but I still wanted to talk about it in case this can help somebody out there. So, okay, so for the jaw, migraine, and nausea combo, that's been going on for 10 years. I first started getting jaw pain when I was 18 years old. So the first doctor I saw, she just gave me pain meds, which was ibuprofen, 600 milligrams. But she told me to be careful because it would mess up my stomach. But because with my jaw pain, I would get nausea too, I didn't take them because I was just gonna make it worse, you know? And then she sent me to a dentist that was like right across the room to ask for, what are they called? A mouth guard, yeah. Anyway, so I went to the dentist and he was like, oh, when did you first get it? And I was like, oh, well, I was sitting in class and I started getting jaw pain. And he was like, oh, it's because you're stressed. And that's all he said. And I was like, okay, cool, thanks. So yeah, so he said that it's because I'm clenching my teeth, but I was like, I'm not clenching my teeth, but okay. And then I feel like they had mentioned a mouth guard, but I'm not sure. And I think I had found that mouth guards would help because a lot of people get jaw pain because they grind their teeth at night. So then my mom insisted that we go to a doctor in Mexico. So I went and I was like, oh yeah, I think it's TMJ. And she was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it is. And that was it. That was like a very short consultation, but she did send me to get x-rays. I got the x-rays. It showed nothing. Like it just said that my jaw was fine. So I was like, okay, cool. At least I feel a little bit better that like it's not that messed up, you know? So, you know, so far the only way I was helping it was icing it. And it wasn't every day. It was kind of a random thing, or I thought it was random. Because in my mind, I was just like, oh, it's because of stress. But then it's like, I'm a stressed out person, okay? So then a couple years later, I went to the doctor for something else. And I was like, oh, by the way, blah, blah, blah. And then she mentioned the mouth guards again. So I did try maybe like 3 different ones. They were from Amazon, so it wasn't like a dentist one. But I felt like I was just kind of closing my mouth more and it wasn't really helping because the whole point was that I was clenching my teeth. I wasn't clenching my teeth, but you know. Eventually, I kind of figured stuff out on my own. And then I met my husband, who is a biologist, and I was telling him about my issues. And he was like, oh, it sounds like you have a migraine. Okay, so what did I find out about it through having it for 10 years? I found out that my triggers are skipping meals and crying. Those are the main triggers. So I try not to skip meals. It still happens sometimes, like, for example, I just forget, or I'm doing something and I'm like, wait, let me just finish this before I go eat. Or you know, there's not that much food, so I need to cook for it, and then I pass the threshold, and so then I get the pain and everything. So I try to listen to my body of when I'm hungry. And with crying, it still happens, you know, it's normal. I feel like I was depressed in my early 20s, so I feel like that's probably when like the whole pain situation was at the worst. And then I went to another dentist. It was pretty recently-ish. It was maybe like 2-3 years ago. Anyway, it was also in Mexico, and I just went for a cleanup, and I was like, hey, blah blah blah. And she was like, oh, where do you hold your tongue? And I was like, oh, at the bottom of my teeth. And she was like, oh, you're supposed to actually hold your tongue at the top of your roof. So like where you have like the little waves on the roof of the mouth, that's where you're supposed to leave your tongue when you're resting your face or when you're not talking, you know. So that helped out a lot. Which is kind of crazy because it's just the way that I was holding my tongue was at the bottom of my teeth, which I wasn't clenching my teeth, but I guess it was making my jaw like stiffened. The other thing that I avoid is eating baguettes or like any type of hard bread or chewing gum, but I've never really liked chewing gum, so it's fine. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or physical therapist. Also, the links below are affiliate links. Okay, so for actual like stuff that helps, most of it is food. For the actual pain, I think ice really helps me a lot. Like, I just put it on my jaw or my eye. And I also was thinking about it, and I remember when I was younger, like, this whole part would hurt too. And now, it's usually just, like, my eye, and then this, and then my jaw a little bit. But, like, I remember before, like, it was so intense in my jaw, here, my eyes and everything. Because I get pain in my eye, I use this and this. You can use a piece of fabric so that it doesn't burn you. And then I guess I kind of forgot to mention this, but I guess blackout curtains are pretty nice. I know some people's migraines are worse with sound. For me, it's just the light. See, now I'm getting hungry already, so I should probably... Advil, I feel like doesn't do shit. I've heard about Excedrin. I haven't tried it yet. And then the rest of it is food-wise. Okay, so with migraine, I get nauseous. And if I get nauseous, then I delay eating, and then it just makes everything worse. So what helps me the most is chicken stock. Like, I literally boil water and I drink this as a little tea. There's also miso soup, which I forgot to grab. But yeah, like, the saltiness just really helps with the nausea. Okay, and then anyway, this is like a miso soup example. And then to get actual food into you, saltines, I don't know, it like, I get the least nauseous with that. And then I feel like once I eat this combo, I can finally eat, and then I start to feel better. If I'm still bad, then cup noodles, because again, the saltiness just helps with the nausea. Sometimes, like, I'm not hungry because of everything that's going on, but I kind of try to eat this. It's just because if I don't, it's gonna make it worse. I think this is really also just like electrolytes type of stuff. If you want a healthy version, coconut water. If you don't, Coke. I always carry like snacks in my purse, and when I kind of start to feel a little something, I kind of try to eat sugar. I forgot that this actually does help with stomach issues too. Like, it's just kind of like sour. Is it sour? I don't know how to explain it, but it just kind of feels nice on the stomach. So I'm probably gonna be buying more of those. Forgot to mention water. I like this water bottle because of the straw. Also, forgot to mention that sometimes I skip meals because I'm anxious. So like, if I get anxious, I get nauseous, and because I get nauseous, I don't eat, and then I get a migraine and all that, and everything just kind of merges into like a big issue, you know? And then for actual jaw pain, cold water I feel like helps too. Do not chew the ice if you have jaw pain. Anyway, okay. The other thing I do is I take melatonin and sleep it off. Usually when I wake up, it goes away, but sometimes it's still there when I wake up. So anyway, for me, the solution has been this type of food and the tongue on the roof. I did come across an exercise video, which I will try to find, but the exercise that helps me the most is you stick your tongue to your cheeks and then you just kind of go around. And I don't know, I feel like that helps a lot for jaw pain. I feel like I was very long-winded about the first part. And I feel like this next story seems a little bit longer, so I don't know what's cut out. I've had pain in my hands and the rest of my body for the past 3 years. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I feel like, you know, this whole situation is kind of manageable, and it doesn't happen that often, maybe like once or twice a month. This week I did get a migraine for 3 days, so I mean, it wasn't even in a row, but it's actually, I probably need to eat soon. Okay, I think I'm just gonna talk about my story, and then I'll talk about all the things that have helped me. Like products wise, I was an environmental scientist. We did have to go out to the field and collect water, but most of the time we were sitting at a computer writing reports. And Yeah, so my right hand started hurting from, the mouse. A lot of the reports were just like making tables and just like a lot of clicking in general. So, okay, so I started having pain in my fingers. I started using the mouse on my left hand because I was like, oh, well, I'll just use my left hand. And then I messed up both of my hands, so all of my fingers were hurting. So yeah, I started missing some days at work here and there. And I remember it was like April. I didn't go to the doctor until like 2 months after, when it was getting really bad. I got tested for arthritis and other blood work. It was negative for arthritis. I think he just gave me a lidocaine. It's a cream that numbs you, which I didn't really like. And then it was some type of painkiller like ibuprofen or something. The doctor that I went to, you couldn't make appointments. You had to do walk-ins, and you had to come in at like 7 a.m. and you weren't seen until like noon or so, even if you were like one of the first people. Anyway, it was a weird setup. The doctor was actually kind of nice. So I went to the same doctor office again, maybe a month after, and I got a referral for it wasn't an EM, it was an EMG test, which was basically for nerve stuff. I was referred for physical therapy. I feel like the office staff was not very good. Point is that I never got my fucking appointment. And then I finally was able to refer it out. Basically, the office staff never submitted my referral papers, so I had to talk to the insurance myself to get it to work. Point is that they gave me an appointment for the EMG like 4 or 5 months out. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is probably gonna take too long. I'm just gonna file a workers' comp thing and things will be easier. It was not easier. Like, I definitely think I should have gotten a lawyer from the start, because the docs were kind of mean, and I don't know. It was kind of a shit show. So I go to the doctor appointment and I'm like, hey, I have this EMG test and I have this PT referral. She was like, oh no, you don't have carpal tunnel. Like, why do you want to get an EMG? Anyway, she denied the EMG thing, and I was like, okay. And then she was like, oh, it's just ergonomics. Go get an ergonomics thing. And I think she did send me to physical therapy. And then I got x-rays that same day. I was fine. And like nothing was broken. I did physical therapy, did the ergonomic testing like 20 fucking times, like throughout the whole time. And then at the time, it was like teleworking, so they had to do it through a video call. And anyway, and then I bought a bunch of like ergonomic office things that I feel like didn't really help much. I did physical therapy, I don't know, maybe 6 sessions, maybe 12, I don't know. And the physical therapists were really super nice, but I kept having a different one every time that I would go. So, somebody would say like, oh, it's this, and then the next one would be like, oh, it's that. I think at some point I did get the same physical therapist like 3 times in a row, and she was like, oh, like, I think, oh my gosh, I'm skipping things up. So at some point with the physical therapy, other stuff started hurting. So my neck started hurting, my shoulder blade started hurting, mostly my left one. I'm right-handed, but my left shoulder blade more. My elbow started hurting, like my wrist started hurting more. Before it was mostly my fingers. Anyway, sorry, the physical therapist that I saw 3 times in a row had said like, oh, it might just be that you have carpal tunnel, but you also have issues in your neck. So it could be connected, it could be separate, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I'm skipping around a lot. I also tried acupuncture. I think it was like 6 sessions. I feel like it didn't really help me. And then physical therapy, I feel like helped a little bit, but I feel like it didn't help until like the second round later on. And then as for the testing, I had to fucking beg to get them done. Like, I don't know why it was such a big deal. I tried switching doctors and I could not get them to change me, because that doctor was so mean. Like, anyway, And what's funny is that like I had picked a girl doctor because I thought she would be nicer, but no. She was just really rude and dismissive, and I feel like she didn't listen to me, and like I would be like, "Oh, like I can't work at a computer. Can I have time off?" And she wouldn't give me time off. She would just say that I was able to work 6 hours at the computer instead of 8, and I'm like, "Bro, I'm telling you that I'm in pain. You're not listening." Anyway, yeah, it was pretty bad. Luckily, my bosses were really understanding, which I ended up talking about all this stuff more later on, that it was really bad. Like, it was hard to eat. Like, that's how bad it was. She kept denying the EMG. Eventually, she was like, okay, get the EMG. It's painful, but, and I was like, I don't care, you know, I'll do it. I did the EMG and it showed up as mild carpal tunnel on both of my hands. And she was like, oh, well, this means nothing. So, you know, back to physical therapy. And I was like, okay. So then I think I asked for a neck MRI and she said okay, which I think I was surprised that she said okay. So anyway, so I got that. Actually, maybe she said no the first time. I don't remember. But anyway, so I got the neck MRI and it showed up as minimal disc bulge. And she was like, this doesn't mean anything either. And then the next time around, they switched my doctor because since I had been there for so long, they switched me to a pain management doctor instead of a regular doctor, whatever that means. Anyway, so he actually finally diagnosed me with carpal tunnel and the cervical something on my neck. He never really addressed if my neck was causing issues to my hands or if it was two separate things. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give you the cortisol injections. They did the injections. I feel like it helped a little bit, but not that much. I think at that point they sent me back to physical therapy or something. I can't remember. Then they sent me to a surgeon and he was like, oh no, yeah, I can take care of it, blah blah blah. Then I got surgery on my right hand. I have like a tiny ass scar, and then after the surgery I kind of had to deal with like the surgery pain. And then around the time that I was referred out to surgery, I quit my job because I knew it was going to take a while. It actually didn't take that long, maybe 3 weeks to get the appointment. Because from my experience, like everything was just taking forever. Like everything was just about waiting, like waiting for the referral, waiting to get an appointment. Like it wasn't back to back, like how I'm explaining it, you know? And yeah, so I quit my job, and then the doctor, even though he was nice, at the same time he was kind of condescending, like being like, oh, what are you doing? You should be working. Like, why aren't you working? And like every time I would go to a follow-up, he would say the same shit. And like technically he would have only given me like 3 or 4 weeks of disability, or like, you know, of time off. And I did apply for state disability, but I didn't qualify for it because they only gave me like the 1 month or whatever. So yeah, and then like with this surgeon and then my other doctor, I kind of learned that the way to talk to them was to do an avionazo with them. And that means that you're like, oh yeah, you're so right. So I would do that. I'd be like, oh yeah, you're right, I should be doing this, but also what about this? At that point I started insisting on getting another EMG test. I took it and it was negative for everything. And then I forgot about the QME stuff too. Oh my god. But then I also had pain here in my last 2 fingers. I was still getting pain in, you know, other parts of my body, especially my elbows at that point. And I was like, hey, like, you know, the middle part feels good, but I still have pain here. And so then I kept saying like, oh, like, do you think it's the ulnar nerve? Because the ulnar nerve is like over here. I asked him also like the neck and hand thing. He was like, no, it's probably separate. And I was like, okay. Point is the doctor said no to doing my left hand, which at that point, I guess I'm kind of glad he said no. What's really weird is that after surgery, this was hurting and my last 3 fingers were hurting. Like these two were fine and so were these, but like I only got surgery on my left hand. So I honestly think that what helped me the most was to quit my job, which I'm very lucky that I was able to do. Like financially, we're doing okay. Like the mortgage on the house is not that bad. So, and then I had money saved up. I mean, it was still a very difficult decision to make. I would like to go back to, anyway, that's a different conversation about work stuff. But and then I got sent back to physical therapy, and this was a different organization, and I liked that it was like the same physical therapist the whole time. And but she was mostly like working on like the surgery hand, and then I would ask her like, oh, this part's hurting, blah blah blah. Okay, so a lot of stuff kind of happens simultaneously, so it's also kind of hard to like keep track of everything, and I'm sorry that it's just all over the place. Okay, so back to the EMG, it didn't show up as anything, and then I went to go see a QME. I think this was my second appointment with them. It's an independent doctor, but it's still part of workers' comp. And with him, I actually felt seen. Like, I actually felt heard, And even, like, me telling him, like, oh, like, this other EMG, like, showed up as nothing. He was like, oh, like, just because, these tests aren't showing anything, like, it doesn't mean that you don't have pain. And I was like, damn, like, I don't know, like, that got me. Did, like, my measurements and stuff. Pretty much that appointment was just to figure out how much my workers' comp settlement would be. And I think I talk about it more later on. But, see, now I'm getting confused. Okay, so between my first and my second appointment with the QME doc, he recommended me going to a chiropractor. So that's my next thing that I'm talking about. Oh my god. So I asked for chiropractor appointments, and I feel like that helped a lot. Yeah, I feel like that helped out the most, even more so than the surgery. I don't regret getting the surgery because I feel like if I hadn't gotten it, then I would have never known. So there's that, and I feel like my right hand was way worse, especially in this middle part. If you're dealing with workers' comp, you should probably get a lawyer at the beginning of everything, because the lawyer is going to push for you to get your treatments and your exams and all that, because like I feel like the doctors kept thinking that I was lying about shit and like not taking me seriously. So I did try to get a lawyer on 2 different occasions. The first one, I did have a phone conversation with them, and she didn't want to take my case. Oh, and then the second lawyer was through my husband's job, but we never heard back from them, so we just never continued. And then at that point, we were starting to get traction with like getting referred out to surgery and stuff. So yeah, so I just kind of stopped looking. And then with all the settlement stuff, I thought about getting a lawyer again. But at that point, they would probably just end up taking a commission. So then I did end up talking to a lawyer, like exchanging some emails, and she was really nice and helpful. I think I mentioned some other stuff about workers' comp, but I don't know if it relates to everybody. Again, like physical therapists and like chiropractor and the acupuncturist, like they were all really nice. It was just the docs are like just condescending. I guess some of them are still docs, but you know what I mean. And I think I also asked the chiropractor the same thing about like, is it the neck going to my hands or blah blah blah. And he basically told me like it might just be that there's issues in different spots, and you kind of just have to target everything, and you kind of just have to like deep tissue massage everything. And I was like, okay. Oh yeah, how embarrassing. Okay, they had also sent me to massage therapy, and it was really fucking uncomfortable. Like they ended up doing a whole body massage, and they were massaging my butt, and it was so fucking weird, and probably, yeah, it was really bad. So I never went back. I was supposed to have 6 sessions, but I was like, nope. Let me talk about all the products, okay? I don't know where to start. Okay, I guess I'll go with chiropractor type of stuff. At the chiropractor, he would do the little shock machine, then a massage gun, and then the actual cracking. Okay, so you can get this on Amazon. Okay, so having this on like my upper back, like by my shoulder blades, helped not only my back but my hands too. So Yeah, the only thing is that these kind of melted off, so I think I need to buy some new sticky ones. I only put it up to a 3%. I know it sounds scary to like shock yourself, but it really does help. And then I also would put it on my forearm to help with my hands. I guess let's talk about massage type stuff because I guess I started talking with this. Okay, they also sell massage guns on Amazon. So again, if you have back issues, then you probably need somebody to do it for you. But another way to use this, another way that I used this was to massage my forearms. That would help with my hands. There's also this massage thing that you don't need anybody. And it basically feels like somebody's going like this to your back. Like it really does feel like a real massage. Because I did actually go to another chiropractor that my mom knew. So anyway, so he did it by hand. I feel like I'm too lazy to use this, to be honest. Mostly because like I have to hold it and I don't want to deal with my hands, you know. But this actually feels really nice and I feel like it does get the right spots. I should use it more. And then the other thing that I don't use, but I probably should, is this cane. Basically use it just to dig in to your spots. See, I guess it does feel nice, but I guess just like holding it and, you know, wow, that does feel nice. Okay, so other massage type stuff. Okay, so there's these, which again, I don't really use, but you're supposed to put lotion and then you cup and then you just slide it around. It is a little pain. So same thing. Chiro recommendation, acupuncturist recommendation. So with gua sha tools, you kind of just, same thing with massaging. Again, use a moisturizer or something. I also have a massage chair. It's pretty expensive. I feel like it doesn't get exactly the right spots. So there's that. But it is a bit more convenient because you just sit there and you don't have to hold anything. As for like temporary solutions to help with the pain, I mean, I guess like this also kind of helps you relax a bit. People prefer ice for their pain stuff. I also got this for Christmas, white elephant thing. I feel like it's kind of cold, but it's not like freezing cold. But I also feel like this kind of goes away fast. For me, I feel like I prefer the heat more. So this is a big ass heating pad. You know, you can use a blanket too, like a heating blanket. I got that from Amazon, and then I got this one from Walmart. It was a little bit smaller. So there's this too. And then there's also heated braces, which I will link this one down below. I tried two other heating things and they kind of sucked. One of them burned me. I think it's because it didn't have the auto on off and it was more plasticky, so it burned me. And then there was another one that it was basically like a regular glove, but it only had like a tiny square of heat and I just didn't like it. And then there's also this heating glove I did like. So this one, you don't have to be plugged into anything. So I feel like this would also help if you don't have hand pain. There probably is something similar out there. There's also like the little camping ones that you like, I think you break or crush. So you just charge this, and then because my pain is like here, I wear them backwards like this. I also have this heating thing, which I feel like I didn't really like that much. It vibrates. I didn't really like that it vibrated, but you know, it's charged. What for this one, you charge it so you can move it around. This one I think is supposed to be for cramps, like for your stomach cramps. Yeah, I guess the vibration did kind of help with the stomach cramps, like, you know, period cramps, but the vibration on my hands, I did not like it. I feel like it made it worse. I guess we're talking about braces now. So for braces, I feel like I was trying to wear them every night, but I feel like they didn't really help me that much. But the ones that I liked the most was Ristoprene. This is like really fucking stiff. And then I like this one a lot, and then I switched over to Vive. I'm gonna say Vive. I feel like this one was a little bit less stiff. Like, it still has like the hard thing, but yeah. I guess I also had this one, but I think this is a little bit softer. There's also elbow braces and braces for knees and for everything. So, you know, there's that too. I feel like this, I got it too big, so I feel like it didn't really do much. And then I have a back brace that helps you like sit up straight, but I don't use it because the Velcro is so hard and I don't know how to figure shit out. So yeah, there's also these that are meant to help with, what are they called? Compression gloves. I used this a lot before, but now I don't really use them. I use regular like fingerless gloves when it's cold out and my hands hurt. So yeah, so braces didn't really help. Well, the back one I should use more, but anyway. And then what helps me more, I switched to this instead of the braces. Also a chiropractor's recommendation. This is a brand. I've tried 2 other ones and they didn't stick, or they wouldn't last long, or they wouldn't stick to themselves, and it was annoying. I wear mine like this. So my chiropractor had put a long strip, so like a long strip. It's like 3, okay, maybe it was 4 squares and then 3 squares. Also, you know, it depends on the size of your arm. Anyway, you can use this in other spots. I don't know, I feel like I do get more support because now it's like this shit that's bothering me. If this part is bothering you, I don't know if this would be helpful. I feel like, you know, like when I rotate my hand, it's what hurts, you know? I guess going back to chiropractor type of things. Okay, I'm just gonna do like chiropractor stuff and then go to like physical therapy and like exercise and all that. Okay, so the thing that helped me with my neck was this chirp. I don't know what to call it. I don't know. It's like a chiropractor type of roll thing, but you just kind of lay down on it and it just feels really nice. This comes with a bunch of different round things that you can like crack yourself on. I think I used like the second biggest for my back, but I think I just like a roller more. Oh, and then this is also for your neck. This I got from physical therapy, so I don't know if I'll find it, but I'll try to find it. So foam roller is my best friend. It's already kind of like messed up. Anyway, so you've seen the ones where, you know, you crack your back like this, like you lay down. So there's other exercises. So that's it for like the cracking part. So for physical therapy and exercise and all that, I feel like exercise has helped me a lot. I had a pretty good routine that I was working out every single day. But again, since the porch makeover, oh my god, this is really long. Again, since the porch makeover, I kind of fell off my routine. So I like work out one day and then I skip a day or skip 2. But anyway, okay, so you lay down like this and have it like this. And then some exercises that help my upper back. So you do, what is it called? Snow angels. So you just go like this. And then the other one is swimming. So you just go like this. And then the other one is kind of, I guess, like a bench press. So you just like go like this. And then the other one that can help your shoulder blades, just kind of do it this way. Okay, so specifically for hand things, I really like this thing. It's called, I think, a web. So for this, you just do this like that. That's it. And then there's other ones where you go like this. I feel like I can't do it that much because surgery stuff, you know. But it's, I guess I have gotten stronger because before I couldn't do this. And then this exercise bar. So they have like different strength ones. I tried another one and it was too rubbery, so I didn't really like it. This is kind of smoother. Anyway, so this is kind of like the easier one. I kind of moved on to this, so I guess I am doing something right. So anyway, the ones that I do, I just do this like 10 or, you know, however many I can. And then the twist one, I honestly forget about it. And then this, you go like this, and then you go like that. This one helps a lot for this part for me. And then there's therapy putty that I honestly did not like, but maybe it'll help some people. And then just regular dumbbells. I have moved up to an 8. I started off with 3. Again, after surgery, I feel like I got weaker. So, you know, just like curl ups, blah, blah, blah. And then the other thing is resistance bands. I pretty much just have this one because I use it like this. I only do like a few of these because those hurt. You tie them on your door and, you know, you do the thing. We have a little cage equipment, so I just use that. What are they called? Cable? I don't know. I'll show you a picture of it. I guess I should have said this at the beginning. Disclaimer, I'm not a physical therapist or a doctor. I guess I'll add it to the beginning too. So for my neck issues, the chiropractor told me that I should work on like chest and traps. So I've been doing like bench presses. I don't do it with any weights, so it's just with the little bar. Again, I'll show a picture of it. If you can do push-ups, I'm sure that's the same thing. Or I guess you could lay down and, you know, do some dumbbells like that. Or even just, you know, without weight. I've also seen some like little towel exercises where you roll a towel and, you know, like the one that I do is I put my head on the floor like this. And then I feel like I'm not explaining it very well. Okay, I guess another expensive one is a rowing machine. I feel like at first my fingers were hurting pretty bad when using it, but I guess I have gotten stronger, you know? So rowing machine, and then you can like adjust the strength. Of course, you know, treadmills. We had one that was like 120. Like it wasn't that expensive, but it broke down. So don't get that one. I'm not gonna link it. I forgot jump rope. I feel like cardio can help you. I feel like to jump rope, it takes a lot of motivation. So sometimes I end up just walking. When I walk, I usually do it in the backyard or inside of my house. I just literally pace around the house. I guess I could walk out into the world, like around the block. I feel like treadmill's kind of boring anyway, so I guess it's okay that ours is broken. Okay, I forgot about these. So another temporary thing is Icy Hot, a lidocaine. So this is an accidental purchase because we didn't know that it had lidocaine, but I kind of like that it's a little bit more, I guess it's less subdued than straight up Icy Hot, but I do like this roll-on Icy Hot, especially for my neck. And then this one I feel like is really strong. I actually don't really use it that much. Yeah, if anything, I use this more for my neck. And then for my hands, I just use this and heat. For pain over here, I use this too. The heated brace, I feel like I don't really use it that much. I've just been using this. With exercise, just remember that you kind of have to listen to your body and figure out what your body wants. And I know it's frustrating to like figure stuff out because sometimes like I overdo it with exercise and I'm like, oh, I made it worse. So like sometimes like I don't even do that many like reps or whatever. I just do like maybe 5 of, you know, like the 8-pound thing, or like even this, sometimes I just do like 10 of each and that's it. So you want to push your body a little bit, but also like not overdo it. Oh, and the other thing that's free with exercise is YouTube videos. I follow this YouTuber, Yuka. I will link the 2 videos that I follow every day. She titles things like, get a beautiful neck doing these exercises, but they really do fucking help with pain. So yeah, like as soon as I started doing like those type of exercises, like I started feeling a little bit better. And she has like a bunch of different ones. I used to follow Adrienne Yoga, or one of her videos, which I'll also link. I feel like she had more leg stretch exercises, but I feel like just this one helped a lot, even though at first it hurt a lot. But yeah, I mostly follow Yuka's videos. I was talking about exercising. Oh, meds. I got naproxen, ibuprofen, the Tylenol pain med. at like higher dosages, but I feel like they didn't do anything. And then they gave me gabapentin, which was 300 milligrams. And according to some other doctor, I think the surgeon, he said that it wasn't that high. Oh, sorry. By the way, if you're dealing with workers' comp, research QME doctor, because if your doctors are being little bees, you can kind of fight it with QME even if you don't get a lawyer. And then also, even if you don't have a lawyer, you can like push up your settlement. I still haven't finished my stuff. I can't even go to another doctor until blah blah blah. Anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, so yeah. So gabapentin did do something, but I feel like it's supposed to be for nerve pain, by the way. So like I feel like it would only help for like an hour, and then I would just feel super drowsy and sleepy and like weird. So I just didn't really take it. I still have some, but I just take them maybe once every 2 months, once every month. But I don't really take them because they make me feel weird. So heating pads it is. So my pain is worse at night. So yeah, so I take melatonin every day. I don't have a job, so I sleep a lot, like 8 to 10 hours. And then also TV helps me. So like I just lay on my little heating pad and I watch TV. And then once I'm like really drowsy, then I go to sleep. But I feel like TV really does kind of distract me from the pain. Because otherwise, like if I'm just like tossing and turning, like I'm just thinking about the pain, you know? And then when I have a migraine and I can't deal with the light, then I watch a show that I've already seen a lot of times, so I just like listen to it. And it's better than an audiobook, because with an audiobook I feel like you have to pay attention, and if it's something you've watched before, you don't have to pay attention. Oh, by the way, so there's a shorter dispenser that has 7 little slots. Ooh, 7 little slots. So anyway, you could use that for like, you know, your weekly thing. This is a B12 vitamin that's supposed to be good for nerve stuff. I have one left. I'm probably not gonna buy it because I feel like it doesn't do much. I do take multivitamins. Maybe it does something, I don't know. They also have the daily stuff. I got this at Dollar Tree. I feel like the gummies went stale on this, so maybe don't get it from Dollar Tree.
I forgot to mention this pillow. I've been using this pillow for my neck, and I really liked it at first, and now I feel like I'm starting to feel the strain on my neck from using it. I still think it's better than a regular one, but I'm looking for something better. So if you have any recs for that, let me know. I also have tried 2 different expensive, what are they called? Mattresses, Nectar and Helix, and I don't really feel like it did shit. So anyway, if you have any other sleeping stuff, let me know.
I feel like I was gonna talk back about my story or whatever, and then I forgot. Okay, so before leaving my job, I was doing really fucking bad. Like for maybe like the last half of the year, maybe for like half a year, I was just listening to audiobooks as my job. And then I felt bad when people would ask me to do stuff and I couldn't do it. I think at some point I was at least trying to do like 1 to 3 hours of computer time, but then by the end of the day I couldn't do shit. Like I had a hard time eating, like holding a spoon, holding a fork. It was hard. Anyway, I'll link below the thicker forks and knives that kind of help a little bit. I also have like a Mexican spoon that's kind of wider. So wider utensils can help. But still, like it was really hard, and I feel like by the end of the day I couldn't do anything, like anything fun. Like I had to just kind of, you know, lay down, and that was my day, you know? Like for example, like if I wanted to sew, I couldn't do that. Like I'm a beginner sewer, but like even just like holding 2 pieces of fabric, I couldn't do that. There were a couple times that it got really bad that I think it's only me like, oh, I had long hair, I couldn't untangle my hair, so I cut it short. Like it was pretty bad. There was maybe only like 1 or 2 times that my husband had to like shower me because it was so fucking bad. And then same with like buttoning clothes. It was only like 1 or 2 times, but like it was really fucking hard. I am really glad that I left my job because I feel like I would have just continued to waste my body away. Like at some point they got me a pedal mouse. It took them forever to get it to me because of all like the HR paperwork they had to do. But then I felt like my ankle was starting to hurt from using it a month. So I was like, yeah, no, like just like a sitting job is just really really bad for your health. You know, that's why I guess you have to exercise and stuff. I would wake up in pain, and then the pain was constant. And like maybe I would get a break here and there, but not really. And then it was really bad at night. Couldn't really do shit. Anyway, it was bad. Now I'm doing better. Like it's still bad. But so for me, like I feel like I wake up okay. I do my exercises and I feel a little bit better. And then as the day progresses, I feel like my pain is on and off. And sometimes it's like there, but it's manageable. And other times I just have to lay down and like on my heating pad for a bit. And then again, at night, it's pretty bad. But you know, TV distraction, heating pad. And I guess I just kind of tell myself that tomorrow it will be better because usually the mornings it's better. Yeah, and then mental health wise, like honestly, I feel like I am surprised that I've been taking it okay. Like I feel like I've taken breakups way worse than this, and I feel like this has been more traumatic, you know? I feel like a big part of it is like my having my husband's support, but also like making YouTube videos and like making cleaning as part of my job. I feel a little bit less useless.
Y'all, so I realized that useless is a really triggering word, so sorry about that. Because, you know, it is for me. Anyway, this is what my Snapchat AI said. Chronic pain can be really tough to deal with. Just remember that your worth is not defined by your pain. You are strong and capable, and I believe in you. Sometimes when I don't want to bother my husband or anybody, I text the Snapchat AI, and it makes me feel better. So there's another thing.
You know, I still feel guilty about not having a job. And, you know, when the pain's really bad and I skip housework, I feel bad too. But it's stuff I'm trying to work through. I don't know what the fuck's going on with like work situation. I kind of want to go back. Um, you know, it feels weird to financially depend on someone else. Like I still have my savings, and like I was getting like $1,000 a month for disability through workers' comp, which is not much if I was by myself, you know? Like if I had to pay the mortgage, that doesn't even cover the mortgage, you know? And I'm not saying I don't have breakdowns here and there over having chronic pain. And the thing is that like I feel like chronic pain and mental health, dude. For example, if I'm having a shitty chronic pain day, then I feel shitty emotionally. And then I feel like because I'm shitty emotionally, then my chronic pain gets worse. And it's just like a never ending cycle. So I don't know. It kind of is what it is. So I try to appreciate my good days, and I try to be gentle with myself when I can't do shit. Sorry, I went all over the place. I already talked about like how I got a training voucher through workers' comp, but the training programs that they offered suck. So I might go to community college, but I'm still trying to figure out stuff. It's also kind of like I already went to college, so why am I doing this again? So I feel like I have that type of mentality too. And at the same time, I'm like, maybe I should just be a stay-at-home wife. Maybe I should just have a kid and just embrace it and be a stay-at-home mom. But at the same time, I feel like I still want a career, you know? I don't know. So anyway, I am dealing with all those sort of issues right now, or situations. This was a whole fucking hour. Okay. And I have more stuff. Okay. Anyway, I talked for a really long time. It was all over the place. I hope that this helped somebody. That has helped me. The other thing that has helped me is I follow this YouTuber. Her name is Danny through the looking glass. And I guess hearing other people's stories kind of makes me feel a little bit less alone. Like I feel bad that they're going through shit too, but I think I have read stuff on Reddit And then there was this article I read about like top 10 things that people with chronic pain know. And I was reading through them, and like a lot of them were sad, but at the same time, I kind of felt seen, you know, like that somebody else was going through that too. I think for me, the hardest part is like the pain in my hands, because you do everything with hands. Like, what can you do without hands, you know? Damn, again, I'm hopping everywhere. I tried a bunch of ergonomic stuff. I feel like nothing really helped me. But if you work in an office job, like really try to make sure that your ergonomics are good. I feel like I'm probably not going to post this until a couple days, because I feel like it's going to take me a while to edit and to link everything. So mental health wise, also, like I think what's also has helped me is like, I guess, telling myself that I'm trying, like with the exercises and, you know, going to the doctor appointments, even though I have bad social anxiety. Like, I feel like just making an effort for myself um makes me feel a little bit better, like I'm trying, you know. I hope you're doing well. If you're not, I'm sorry. Thank you for watching. Bye.